Okay. So as a GI dietitian, I really see a lot of patients that have restrictive diets. So yes, we have to focus on the restriction for sure, but I also like to focus on what we can do to improve our overall health and why that's so important. So here are my learning objectives. So a quick review of digestion. We're going to go through this. The function of digestion really is to break food down into our body into smaller nutrients so that we can absorb, and for various reasons for our body. The small intestine is really the primary site of nutrient absorption. The large intestine is wider and shorter, and it absorbs water and electrolytes, but it's also the home of our gut microbiome, and this is what we're going to talk about today. But I also want you to take note of where the liver's location is. It is centrally located between the digestive organs, and it filters toxins from the blood, it processes your absorbed nutrients, and it stores some vitamins and minerals. So the gut microbiome is all the microorganisms that live in your digestive system, mostly comprised of bacteria. So this community forms in your early years, and it changes over time, becoming unique to you. It's kind of like a fingerprint. Everybody's is different. And so you can think of it as a rainforest with many different species. About 1/3 of this microbial rainforest is really influenced by factors like how you were born, were you breastfed, genetics, and where you live, where you travel to. The other 2/3 is really shaped by diet, lifestyle, and the choices we make. So why is this important? So over the past decade, we've really learned that these tiny organisms can play a really important role in our overall health. So what are the possible roles of beneficial bacteria? Well, microbiome science, I want to tell you, is really new, and it still has many unanswered questions, but we now know that these gut microbes are really important and do greatly affect our health. Your gut bacteria helps to break down the fiber that you ingest, and what it creates are substances called postbiotics. So a postbiotic can be both good and bad for your health. One very famous postbiotic is butyrate, and butyrate is a short-chain fatty acid. It nourishes and gives energy to our intestinal cells. It reduces inflammation. It boosts immune activity and defends against infections. So a healthy and diverse microbiome is really linked to lower risks of chronic diseases. It can improve heart and gut health, and it aids in our weight balance, as well as it produces vitamins, and it can even affect our sleep. What are the possible health issues from an unhealthy gut microbiome? Well, dysbiosis is the term that we use to describe an unhealthy, unbalanced gut microbiome. It involves losing good bacteria, having too much harmful bacteria, or really just not having enough workers, enough different type of bacteria. Factors that can cause this dysbiosis, well, it includes diet, stress, and that's physical or mental stress, alcohol, medications, overuse of antibiotics, poor dental hygiene, and other environmental issues. Dysbiosis can compromise the barrier of the intestinal cells in your digestive tract, and when this barrier is weakened, immune cells can encounter undigested food and pathogens, and this can lead to various health issues. Dysbiosis can contribute to various health problems from minor issues like food intolerance, gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea. It can also lead to more serious complications and contribute to things like fatty liver disease, cirrhosis, and mood disorders, anxiety, depression. This is why maintaining a really good, healthy gut microbiome can be especially important for patients with Wilson disease. So the liver and the digestive tract are really closely connected, and they work together to keep you healthy. The liver gets blood from the gut, so it gets nourishment, and is exposed to products from this gut bacteria and other microorganisms. If there's an imbalance in your gut microbiome, remember this is dysbiosis, it can affect your liver in negative ways. And researchers are still studying the link between several possible ways that poor gut bacteria can contribute to poor liver health. In looking at Wilson disease specifically, we really don't have much research connecting the gut microbiome and liver health, but there was a small study of 14 individuals with Wilson disease, and what they found was patients with Wilson disease had fewer types, I don't know what happened here, I'm sorry, fewer types of bacteria and a different composition compared to healthy individuals. While this study is really small, it offers valuable information and possible direction for treatment, and also underscores the importance of managing our dietary health. So, care and feeding of your gut microbiome. Here's a concise list of dietary and lifestyle choices that can significantly impact your microbiome health. We're going to explore some of these in detail, but first I wanted to do a small review of Wilson disease and dietary copper management. There are many reasons why a patient with Wilson disease would follow a strict copper restrictive diet based on the medical plan that they have come up with their doctor. For individuals who have been in treatment and are in stable health, they might be offered a copper-conscious eating plan. And this plan really helps to prevent overconsumption of copper, but also ensures enough for absorbed for proper health. So a couple things to take note of. Copper absorption, it occurs in the small intestine, and copper from plant sources is not as absorbed readily as animal sources. And this is because the copper gets tripped up in phytates and fiber. This is good for a plant-based diet. Absorption is also strongly influenced by the amount of copper that you have in your diet. So it's understandable to limit your copper in your diet, but over-restriction can actually lead to increased absorption. So while you're eating less, you may be absorbing more. So collaborating with a registered dietitian can be really advantageous for patients with Wilson disease, particularly if you're managing more health issues or preferences like becoming a vegetarian. So here are the general recommendations for copper-conscious eating. While I won't be reviewing these in detail today, this plan really helps you build a good foundation for a copper-conscious diet. And for more information on this, I think the Wilson Disease Association website just really is tops when it comes to explaining this. So let's dive into the recommendations for a healthy microbiome. Among the dietary choices you can make, fiber stands out as one of the most important, and it may be repeating myself, but we know that it's the primary source of food for these good gut bacteria. It helps them grow and stay healthy. Every different type of fiber you eat feeds a different type of bacteria, and it supports the diversity. So it also aids in digestion and moves through food through the colon smoothly. So what can you do when you have a copper-conscious diet? Well, yes, many foods contain moderate to high amounts of copper. So what do? Well, you ensure that the basis of your diet consists of low-copper plant-based choices daily, incorporating plant-based foods from the moderate category appropriately following your portion sizes, and occasionally having that sweet potato. So I've pulled the low-copper plant-based choices and put them in here. We're not going to go over them, but this is from the Wilson Disease Association website. There's a lot of vegetables and fruits here, and also in the medium copper, there's, at the right portion size, all of these can be appropriately added into a dietary plan. So what's the difference between probiotics and prebiotics? Well, prebiotics are found in a variety of plant-based foods, and that's the fiber that feeds your gut bacteria. Probiotics are actually the microorganisms that we've been talking about today. They're also found in supplements and in fermented food. Recent research from a really small clinical trial showed that for 10 weeks, a diet high in fermented foods increased the variety of gut bacteria and improved immune response. Well, this is good because yogurt is a low-copper food. I've also put a couple of other choices up here. for probiotics. And if you're talking about probiotic supplementation, most people don't need a probiotic supplement. We just need to nourish the gut bacteria that we already have. So let's just talk about a few things to be mindful about. Remember, all types of foods can fit into a balanced diet. It's not about being perfect. So unhealthy fats, particularly saturated and trans fats, can raise cholesterol levels and significantly impact your liver and your microbiome health. I've included some examples of low to medium copper choices of healthy fats, including fish and oils and chickpeas. Additionally, you want to be able to choose white meat from chicken and turkey and lean cuts of meat. Again, really what you choose to eat consistently is what has the greatest impact on your health. So, other recommendations, ultra-processed foods, they usually lack fiber and they're usually lacking essential nutrients. And while they can be enjoyable, it's really important to recognize that regular consumption of these can disrupt your gut microbiome. The objective isn't to achieve a perfect diet, but to minimize the intake of these foods. I often get a lot of questions about sweeteners, and this topic is really pretty controversial. And traditionally, we thought there's really no physiological effects about sweeteners. And what we found in emerging research is that there could be actually some interaction with the gut microbiome that may be negative. So at this point, we really can't state their impact, but the key takeaway is to use these things sparingly. Also, I talk regularly to patients about the importance of having regular meals. I know appetite can be an issue for some people, but skipping meals can really result in nutrient deficiencies, disrupt energy levels, and consistently eating regular meals can really ensure that you get adequate nutrition and support your gut microbiome. Hydration is also really important. Dehydration can significantly disrupt digestion and gut microbiome health. Adequate hydration is essential for breaking down nutrients and maintaining a healthy gut microbiome. Additionally, the quality of the fluids that you choose can influence diversity and the health of the bacteria in your gut. So what can you do besides diet? Well, here's some lifestyle choices that really go beyond diet to promote microbiome health. You really want to move, if you can, 30 minutes most days of the week. But if you can't, start more realistically and move as you can. Avoid sitting for long periods of time. Incorporate resistance training if possible. If you can, it's best to avoid alcohol and smoking, we know this. And spend time outdoors because that's actually going to reduce stress, but also expose you to beneficial microbes. Aim for adequate restorative sleep and don't overuse hand sanitizer and antibiotics. So I'm going to quickly go through this gut-brain connection, but it's such an integral topic, but there's a flow of information between your brain and your gut. So your gut produces chemicals that actually transmit signals to your brain. And so your brain also influences your gut. And, you know, this is why I had the artist, my daughter, draw this butterflies on this drawing for me, because really when you're anxious and feel that fluttery feeling, that's really your gut-brain axis. So chronic stress can really negatively impact your gut microbiome, leading to less bacteria, less diversity in bacteria. And also a healthy microbiome can positively influence mood and stress response. So managing stress can benefit your mental health, but also your gut microbiome. I've put some techniques here to reduce stress. And I always assess stress levels in my patients by asking them on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you feel like you're on fire, where's your stress level? And I would tell you, most of my patients are over a 5. In this today's world, it's really important to understand how your anxiety and your stress levels impact your overall health. So, in summary, choosing the right amount of copper for as an individual with Wilson disease, while tending to your gut microbiome, the vibrant rainforest that's within your colon, this can significantly impact your overall health. While I've shared insights today about your dietary adjustments and lifestyle changes you can make, remember this information, you know, it's just information. So the real magic lies in taking action. Start small, be really kind to yourself, embrace the smaller, sustainable changes you can make one step at a time, because your health journey really matters. There's my resources.